Bank Studios. This hour of the Shaun Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Shaun Thompson. And this is the Shaun Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
Afraid of communism?
And when the band plays, hail to
It's like saying Mike Tyson is afraid to get a jab in the face. That's just a feature, baby. It's America. This is already, in Democrat areas, communist. You can't figure that out? And embrace the sucking sound from these Democrat dungholes.
Would rather do is ensure that they remain as they are so that the city can be on firm financial footing. However, in order to get to this point of closing the gap on both this fiscal year and the next fiscal year, we are forced to raid the rainy day fund, the retiree health benefits trust reserve, and to increase property taxes across these other years.
Drinks are on the house. That sucking sound you hear is what media and morons, other people are trying to make you afraid of. What are you out of your fracking mind? These areas are done, over with. In Manhattan alone, since Global Intifada, this moron who lived with his mommy and daddy before he was elected mayor, just since he was elected, it is a staggering reality. The multifamily properties, the asset values have plummeted by $175,225 per unit in Manhattan. And in the Bronx, $112,023 per unit. And not to be outdone, our very own Mayor Mohawk with the faux hawk that's a little off skew, that the Chicagoans pay his beautician, who really used to be a comedian, $37,000 a year to give him that stupid look. $6,500 Brioni suits, and the bum couldn't pay his fracking water bill, making over $100,000 a year. How do you think it's going to end in Shirakistan?
Relief is long overdue.
Yeah!
And Chicagoans deserve an approach that puts people first and not profits. And that's why I'm incredibly proud to formally announce.
A lot of pride that weekend, huh? Bunch of sissies walking around in thongs backwards, scaring kids, and they're proud of that. I love Chicago. The standards are so low, you have to be proud because you like licking crotches. In fact, the only one that doesn't like licking crotches was our first lady, who's on the Ozempic drip. MK, you look great. Lost that upper body strength ripping out toilets so your husband could cheat on his taxes. Don't worry. The property isn't worth that much. Sooner or later, he'll be right.
That my administration is introducing the Protecting Renters Ordinance.
Yay! Yay!
This sweeping overhaul of our existing laws will create new transformational protections for renters, protecting Chicagoans.
It will destroy, it already did, everything these moron Democrats touch in the turlet. And to double down on it, they are going faster forward. Just like the communist Marxist mafia members always promise, from Mao Zedong, may he burn in hell, to Stalin, to Lenin, to Trotsky, to all the Democrats today. Anybody ever hear of Chris Murphy, senator out of Connecticut? I don't know if you've ever seen him. But if there was a United States stamp for on the down low husbands who like to park in the forest preserve because they're not too proud to go out on Gay Pride Day, but they're still in the parking lot hoping another fella jumps in their car, Chris Murphy's face would be on that stamp. And Chris Murphy, who's never worked a day in his life, right out of law school, boom, into politics, combing over that side part from 1965 like he's an extra on Bewitched. Here he is, talking about economics.
You are calling for a minimum wage of $25 an hour. It has not been raised nationally since above $7.25 an hour since 2009. The most recent analysis from the Congressional Budget Office said that even a $17 per hour raise would result in massive job cuts. Would your bill actually do more harm than good?
No, it wouldn't. And there's plenty of economic analysis to show that if you...
Are these the same economists that told Barack Obama, He was going to lower everyone's insurance premium. I can't even get it out. Premiums by $2,500 a year. How did that suck on do? Also, backdoor parking champion of the forest preserves.
Gradually raise the minimum wage to $25 an hour. You're going to create more jobs than you're going to lose. And my bill doesn't.
How are you going to do that, stupid? You ever hire anybody outside of the ones you have on your budget that goes along with the $40,000 a year to redo your congressional offices, your Senate office, whatever the hell you got there, and bribe all of the normally girls, but in your case, boys, you sexually harass during the term? Any idea what it's like to actually work and hire somebody? Of course not. And it won't change a thing among the American suck-on communists known as Democrats. Not a thing. But here's the good news, Squirrel. Where the good, decent people live, we save money. Our budgets of our government get cut years in a row. Not like Illinois. J.B. Pritzker has increased 63 new state taxes and fees. In fact, he's increased the Illinois state budget $16.6 billion a year. How's it feel for you? And all these new taxes and fees, that brought in $77 billion. Where's the money? Well, it's been stolen. It's not a feature, it's a flaw, or it's not a flaw, it's a feature of the policies that Democrats move. That's the greatest thing to understand. This is not a flaw. This is a feature. But in decent areas, our taxes go down. Our property taxes are working to get to zero. And the cost of living also goes down. The quality of life, Squirrel, this is the best part. Up, up, up.
To stand up for the taxpayer first and foremost, and that's what we do in Florida. So here's some facts. The state of Florida now has almost 4 million more residents than New York State does, yet New York's budget is over twice as large as the state of Florida's. New York City, with 8 million people, has a larger budget than the entire state of Florida, and yet our infrastructure is better, our roads are better, our services are better, and so these are choices. They don't respect the taxpayers in these places, and people have rebelled. Now, it's not just taxes. You have homeless problem. You obviously have had crime problem in some of these areas for a number of years. You've had Soros DAs. You know, we've had Soros DAs in Florida. I'm the only governor that's removed them from their posts. But it really starts with being a friend of the taxpayer. So we have no state income tax in Florida, which we're going to keep. We have a sales tax, but the necessities of life are actually exempt. So food, medication, baby items, you don't even pay sales tax on that. And so if somebody is struggling trying to make ends meet, you know, we've done a lot to reduce the burdens on them. If you want to send your kid to college at one of our state universities, our in-state tuition is the lowest in the country, about $6,300, the same as the day I took office. The tuition hasn't budged, even though we've had inflation, you know, throughout the economy. So on issue after issue, we've stood for people that are working hard. We respect the taxpayers, and the proof's in the pudding. How can you possibly argue that it would be okay to have a budget twice as large like New York State, given the results, the substandard results that they have? It's a choice of how they're treating taxpayers.
4 years in a row, the budget has been cut. And taxes have been cut. But for you guys, massive increases. And the reason is it's broke and they're covering up fraud. So you got to pander to the people. Get out the trust fund, baby, with butter hands. Couldn't do a push-up or a sit-up. If you could double his pension or his assets, he still couldn't do it. Could you, JB? Not at all.
Well, today was a really exciting day because I signed 4 pieces of legislation that are going to protect consumers across this state. You know, if you want to go to a performance of any sort of live entertainment performance, often you're paying hidden fees. You show up, you know, you bought your ticket, and on top of the ticket price you expected, another fee, a convenience fee or otherwise something you didn't expect.
Like the 63 taxes and fees he increased? $77 more billion he sucked out of the pockets of Illinoisans? He's going to protect you on ticket prices? That's how low Democrat standards are. And when it comes to schools, well, you're really paying attention to what's going on in that once great city and state? Now that the entire state pays for CPS, that's why you're hearing the propaganda of a shortfall in their budget. No kidding. There's always been a shortfall. You're stealing the money.
Chicago public school teachers and staff are sounding the alarm. They are worried about what the future will hold as the district is faced with a more than $700 million budget deficit.
It's not a flaw. It's a feature. Simultaneously with this, they featherbed the entire payroll of not just CPS, Chicago itself, Illinois State, Cook County. That's how it works. Backdoor Sovietize your country.
The government school system has become more of a jobs program for adults than an education initiative for kids. I just wrote about a school in Chicago. Anybody from Chicago? I don't recommend it, but you can tell me differently. But there's a school there that's 97% empty. It's called Douglas Academy High School. It was built for over 1,000 kids. Guess how many students are there now? 27.
Let that breathe. 1,000 kids it's built for. There are 27. You know how many teachers, Squirrel?
Guess how many employees they have? 28. There's more adults in the school than kids. And you'd think they have a basically 1-to-1 student-to-staff ratio. They'd be doing a good job, right? They're knocking it out of the park. They're spending $90,000 to $100,000 a kid. This should be great, right? According to the teachers union's logic. No, they had not a single child proficient in math or reading.
And you're worried about your budget shortfall? Everybody should be fired.
Fairfield Academy has lost 3 teaching positions for next school year, requiring reassignments within our staff.
You listen to how she talks? This is a teacher. This simpleton is attempting to read something. This is a teacher in Chicago Public. Listen to this idiot.
My library position has been closed, and I have been reassigned to teach 5th grade.
The Chicago Teachers Union is...
If I could short the future in Chicago, I really would. And when it comes to other states, teachers, we have a different standard. In fact, our teachers, we demand not just that the kids can read and write, but that they themselves are not treasonous traitors.
Former Pasco County high school teacher is in some hot water right now for a violent comment she made about the president, and she could lose her teaching certificate over it. Well, the administrative complaint says it happened during a classroom lesson at Land O'Lakes High School last fall. State officials say that Mary Hazel Washburn told students President Trump deserves a bullet through the head. Now, the complaint accuses her of bringing political rhetoric into the classroom and violating professional standards. Florida's education commissioner says that they're going to pursue sanctions against her teaching certificate. One student tells us comments like this don't belong in school.
Because the students know better than the Democrat teachers. And when you get Democrat teachers, they cannot convey knowledge to kids. There's another downside. They seem to be all sick and twisted scum.
A teacher at a suburban high school charged with having child pornography. Investigators say they found the material in the possession of Thomas Neal after he was selected for secondary screening while flying to Mexico. Niles Township High School District 219 says it was made aware of this complaint yesterday, and the district telling us it is cooperating with authorities. For updates on this case, follow ABC 7 Chicago.
Cooperating with authorities? Why, are they going to beat him about the head, neck, breast, and chest area before they throw him in jail for the rest of his useless life? I'll never go back willingly, Squirrel. 312-642-5600.
Broadcasting from the petri dish of corruption known as the state of Illinois.
In the upper Midwest, the nation, and around the world.
This is the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.
It is that time of year again to save babies by providing ultrasounds with our friends at Preborn. You know how this goes. We've done it every single year at this time. All you have to do is pick up the phone and say,